It's safe to say the Lakers haven't enjoyed the best of starts to the 2022-23 season, and Russell Westbrook's campaign just got slightly worse as he was left a bloody mess after coming up against the San Antonio Spurs' Zach Collins last weekend. But there was a silver lining. Today, we are discussing Westbrook receiving a brutal elbow from Collins and a response from his Lakers teammates. Stay with us. First up, we're discussing some potential Lakers trade news. Most fans were in agreement that Russell Westbrook's days in a Lakers jersey were numbered over the summer, but for one reason or another, the LA franchise failed to ship out their big point guard. It's safe to say they weren't shy in offering him out, but no teams were able to get a deal over the line. Apparently, the Lakers get a seemingly arbitrary 20-game deadline before looking for an in-season deal, but that too garnered no takers. It is now thought that they will again try to get rid of Westbrook before December 15th, and ESPN's Dave McMenamin recently spoke of the likelihood of the Lakers getting a deal done. He declared that he was convinced the Lakers will trade up, saying, "I think the figuring out period, prove it to us period, has passed. They have proven it. They've seen Anthony Davis playing at this bubble level. They've seen LeBron James' commitment on the court and off the court."
Everybody excited.
Yeah, pass, cut, and then hammer.
McMenamin also suggested that the Lakers could be willing to trade one of those two picks, before then claiming it would probably be worth it to get this team better. While the NBA reporter believes that a deal could be done by mid-January, if not sooner, Lakers fans may take a little more of a believe it when we see it stance. What do you guys think the Lakers need to do to be challengers once again? Braun has gone in on the media next. Stay with us. In the game of basketball, just like in every other big sport around the world, there are some stories that sell and some which simply don't. One of those stories that sells will always be the controversial Kyrie Irving, but it seems LeBron isn't happy about the attention Irving has gotten compared to one other story in particular.
Kyrie is his own man. He stands up in front of the media and speaks.
You will have probably heard about the Jerry Jones photo by now. A 14-year-old Jones is seen looking over a crowd of white students who are attempting to block a group of black students entering a high school in Little Rock back in 1957. But LeBron wants to know why he wasn't questioned about the photo. Possibly because Jones was a child, or because it was 1957, or because he wasn't the aggressor in the photo.
I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Of course, there are plenty of reasons why James' argument doesn't hold up. Nobody is suggesting for a second that black students should not have been allowed into that school, but you can't compare a 14-year-old child watching an incident which he probably had limited knowledge of to a national superstar, an adult at that, who is clearly giving off anti-Semitic vibes in 2022. We're sorry, LeBron, but your whataboutery isn't going to fly on this occasion. Kyrie Irving is a big boy, and he made his decision, a decision he must now stand by.
In Prime, I was like, you know what, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh, that came up.
And take the consequences for. What do you guys think of the Jerry Jones photo? Let us know below. Next up, James has been discussing how his game has evolved now. Stay tuned. Play 20 years of any sport, and those years are going to eventually catch up with you. But LeBron James is still looking good at 37 and still racking up the points. Of course, his early career was full to the brim of athleticism and charging around the court, but his approach is a little more nuanced these days.
James sees an opening, drives inside, and the flush. 38 for James.
And it has to be, really, one of the finest athletes. Not just in basketball, but in any sport. Ever to grace the US, James cannot go on forever, but he is clearly aware of his declining skills. Of course, he is still one of the best in the league.
After the missed free throws, LeBron with a dunk. He's tied this game at 60.
But he has to take a different approach these days, and owes his longevity to a strict regime of taking care of himself properly. Acknowledging that he no longer has to rely on super-duper athleticism to be effective, he explained that he has grown his game in other areas, adding, "A lot of teams and coaches I played against helped me out a lot. I knew in order to be the best player I can be and be the greatest player of all time, I need no weaknesses." Although he's not planning on retirement just yet, it will be sad when that day finally arrives.
Russell Westbrook. That's a second charge mistake. Bounce to LeBron. A good assist from Russ. Give it. Go!
So, what happened to Russ? Let's see. Russell Westbrook was left bloodied by a stray elbow belonging to Zach Collins during the Lakers game with the Spurs last weekend. The big number 0 had to be dragged away from a situation that threatened to flare up after he was left bleeding from the flagrant foul. Westbrook had pounced upon a loose ball in the paint in the closing minutes of the third period, but was met with a vicious elbow from the Spurs power forward, who had thrown his arm down towards Russ as he was trying to get up.
Right over the right elbow.
The prior foul is under review for a potential flagrant foul.
Of course, Westbrook's forehead was instantly splattered in blood, but that wasn't the end of the situation. In came the cavalry from both sides, but LeBron James sensibly led Westbrook away for treatment. Russ was quickly seen by a doctor, who led him away to clean the cut-up. After the melee had calmed down, Collins was sent packing after the officials handed him a flagrant 2 foul, while Westbrook himself was assessed for a technical foul for what happened after the elbow. The Lakers were able to put the disappointment of what happened to Westbrook behind them and managed to secure the win after yet another scintillating performance by LeBron.
Long distance, dial it up! Braun is perfect from 3.
He was instrumental in the 143-138 win in what can probably be described as his best performance of the season, which saw him bag 39 points and 7 3-pointers. What did you make of Collins' foul on Russ? Next up, we're discussing that Lakers togetherness. Darvin Ham will have been delighted with his Lakers team's response after Russ had to go off injured last weekend. When he was first appointed, he spoke of competitiveness, togetherness, and accountability, and the middle bit was on full display against the Spurs. That sort of team spirit has been sorely lacking in recent seasons, as the Lakers have looked disjointed at best and disinterested at worst. However, Ham has instilled a team ethos that is now warning other teams around the league that the days of being able to wind up the Lakers are over. The Lakers had a horrendous start to their campaign, which saw them go 2-10, but they have picked up their form of late, and it appears that Ham's message is beginning to bear fruit. It is the quick thinking of LeBron James, which should really be commended, as he instantly calmed a situation which had threatened to spiral out of control. As Westbrook rose to look for the guilty party, Braun was instantly there to calm him down and de-escalate the situation. He even administered basic first aid by applying a towel to Russ' forehead. After the game, Ham explained that that's what togetherness looks like, being there for your teammate, before then going on to add, he takes a shot to the head, and you don't want to escalate the situation, you want to try to calm him down, which showed real maturity from James, which he should be commended for. And finally, what does this mean for the Lakers going forward? Well, it shows that, first and foremost, they are there for one another. James could easily have let Westbrook seek retribution and be sanctioned himself, which would probably have ended in some sort of fine and/or suspension. Since winning the title back in 2020, it's safe to say the Lakers have been a shell of their former selves, but it appears as though they now have some sort of identity. From the briefest of moments, we saw a chemistry between Lakers players, which has been seriously lacking in recent seasons. LeBron and Russ are known to be pretty tight off the court.
Reed's got a hand on a 3-on-1. Russ, LeBron, blow that baby down!
And after the incident, the legendary small forward said, "Before Westbrook and I became teammates, we've always been like brothers, and cool and things of that nature, so his health is more important than the game of basketball. I was just trying to stop that, and let the training staff do their job when we got to the bench." James then explained that although it was a clear foul, he didn't want Russ to get into any trouble, adding that he just tried to step in there and try to defuse it as much as possible. Whilst this is certainly a positive, there is still a long way to go to turn positive chemistry into a sustained period of success on the court, but it appears as though the Lakers are finally on the right track once again. As usual, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to join us again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content just like this. Bye guys!